walking by the highway found the skeleton just before 11 o'clock this morning in a clump of trees by the roadside.
Each year, thousands of Australians go missing.
Most of the main bones were in one spot, but several smaller pieces...
Across the country, states and territories hold 850 sets of unidentified human remains.
Bones found near a bush camp are human remains.
Until now, there's been no national approach to compare the details of those missing persons cases against unidentified remains held in storage.
The bones remain with forensics, who are now testing them to try and determine age, gender and ethnicity.
These remains are potentially someone's children, parents and siblings, and for thousands of Australian families, they live this trauma every day not knowing where their loved one is.
It's in this Canberra laboratory where Jodie Ward is spearheading the national effort to solve cases. She's using cutting-edge techniques to test the bones, some of which are decades old.
Okay, let's see what we've got.
Some of them have had some level of testing, some have never been tested. Here's this brand new opportunity for us to apply the most contemporary forensic techniques to try and restore their identity, to try and resolve some of these long-term missing persons cases.
Oh yeah, so it's quite bleached, isn't it? Which is obviously what we expect washing up on a beach. So what we might do would...
Before joining the AFP, Jodie worked for New South Wales Police, where she realised state borders were hampering efforts to identify remains.
What I could see is that by every state and territory taking their own approach with identifying their remains and, using separate facilities and using separate databases, there was real potential for unidentified and missing persons cases to remain unlinked.
The National DNA Program was launched in 2020 after years of lobbying, offering new hope to families looking for answers.
My name is Sally Layden and I'm the daughter of long-term missing person Marion Barter. 23 years, half my life, I've been living the nightmare that is that of a missing loved one.
Sally Layden's hoping the National DNA Program can identify her mother's remains among those in storage. Marion Barter was last seen in Southport, Queensland in 1997.
No one wants their loved one to be in a box in a morgue, but after looking for so long and not having any answers, if that's the best we've got, well, at least we can know where she is and we can have a celebration of her life.
It's cases like Sally's where, there is a reality that their loved one may be deceased. It's for those families that this program can offer answers.
The program is about getting the whole sector up to date. So that included the states and territories doing an audit where they had to then look at all their unidentified human remains as well as all their long-term missing people and get all the information together and upload it onto the national database.
Already Jodie's team has solved an almost half-a-century-old mystery after South Australian police sent remains to Canberra for testing.
To resolve Mario's disappearance after 45 years is extremely rewarding, not only for the police who have worked on it, but also certainly for the families.
Mario Della Torre went missing from the regional South Australian town of Whyalla in 1976. Bones were found on a local beach 6 months later, but it wasn't until earlier this year, using specialised DNA techniques, that the remains were confirmed to be his.
We were able to recover both an autosomal and a Y chromosome DNA profile from the remains, and those profiles were provided back to South Australia Police, and the Forensic Science South Australia laboratory then compared the DNA profile we provided with a DNA profile from the relative of Mario.
Uncle Morris, as we called him, Mario.
It's not known how Mario died, but his family is grateful his remains have finally been identified.
It was exciting but emotional, sad. I think it brought a lot of feelings back up, and anxiousness, I guess, and like, could this be real? Could it be possible? Having this technology in DNA testing that they can actually test the bone remains and find out if actually him is just wonderful. I mean, it's just amazing.
After the initial success, South Australian police have sent another 10 sets of unidentified remains to Canberra for testing.
These are the 10 South Australian unidentified human remains. Certainly with the collaborative approach that we are utilising, I feel very confident that there'll be other matches identified.
This is just the beginning, obviously, and there's hundreds more cases to go. We can't promise that we will resolve them all, but it's quite clear we have the technology and the approach that will resolve a number of them.
Jodie says the program depends on DNA samples from relatives in the national database.
If you have reported your loved one missing before, we need to know about their physical appearance, we need to know their medical history, we need to get a hold of their dental records if they still exist. We need a DNA sample.
Mercedes Borgonjan believes without the national DNA program, her uncle's disappearance may never have been solved, and she's urging other families to stay positive.
Don't give up. There's hope. We're just so glad that, we got those answers, and I'm hoping for everyone to have closure like we had.
And heal the heartache for hundreds of families searching for answers.
I think the number of unidentified human remains did come as a shock initially, because when I looked around, the room, which contained archived boxes, full of remains, I guess what I saw were hundreds of Australians whose names, faces, families and stories were yet to be discovered. I feel it's a privilege to be able to reunite those people with their families. Some of the pain and trauma that they carry around with them every day may subside.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.